Hey, Meghann Scully, and this is the Limerick Post Show. And joining me now, it's Caitriona Scully, no relation that we think or know of just yet, but you're very welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me, Megan. It's an absolute pleasure to be on with you.
It's great to be chatting to you, of course, about the West Limerick Food and Tourism. I know you've loads of great stuff going on, but there's something you want to talk to us about the food series. So can you tell us all about it?
Yeah, absolutely. So I suppose I'll just quickly say we're West Limerick Resources. So we're the development company out for the West Limerick area. Ballyhara have theirs, and then obviously the city have got their own development agency. So we're a rural development agency out here. So we are mostly what you'd call like a funding organization, and the department announced a leader food initiative, which was basically funding for food producers. We hadn't been seeing any applications coming in to the extent that we were expecting, so we realized that maybe we should do something to develop the sector and to get the word out that West Limerick is a phenomenal food destination. So this is actually the second one that we're running, and it's starting on this Wednesday coming. It's called the West Limerick Food Series, and this is phase two. To give you a little bit of background, the first phase was run in 2019. It was the first time that we've done anything kind of like this, and it was the way we developed it was that the outcomes would be very organic depending on who the group became. So we had engaged with about 90 people, 90 different businesses, and we ended up with about 23 actually seeing the training program the whole way through to the end. And the kind of real success stories out of it, we had a beautiful big harvest long table dinner middle of November 2019 out on a goat farm out here, Ballygoat Cheese Farm, and everybody who was on the program who kind of saw it through to the end all contributed either a dish of their own or produce of their own that the chefs cooked. And there's a big food truck, and we had 4 amazing chefs cooking out of the truck. And we also developed a visitor map, which also had a food directory on the back, and had the location of all of the different producers or places to eat. So they were the kind of success stories from the first one. The other thing was they kind of came up with a bit of a branding for themselves as well, which was taste the history. Because the one thing that really came through in all of the lessons, we call them all of the workshops, was the wealth of food history that actually exists out here in West Limerick, whether it's from the back in the co-ops or back in the fishing days and the gandalos in the estuary, or right the way through to now, and the phenomenal businesses like the Woodlands Hotel, which are just steeped in history, or we've bakeries out here. Toomey's have been running for 120 years, kind of thing.
I have to say
So
it
I
is absolutely incredible. Like you mentioned there, the woodlands, and you mentioned Toomey's as well, and I know them both on a friendship basis too. And I have to say they're just incredible
yeah,
brands, and as you said, the history, and that's the one thing I think, and I'm sure you might have found the same moving to Limerick. You get once you kind of like I found after a while when I got to know about the history, and then the food history is just phenomenal. Like Limerick's absolutely like I think it's the like almost. I think people outside Limerick don't realize how like amazing it is for all the stuff we produce between you said cheese,
absolutely.
bread, meat. It's just phenomenal.
Exactly. And that's what we noticed. And you got it perfectly right there. So I would have spent a lot of time in Galway like yourself. And one thing Galway does is they sing about how good they are, like there's no fear of somebody who's lived in Galway, is from Galway, about, saying how good they are. And rightly so. But one thing about Limerick is they're just so humble about it, and almost like, oh no, we wouldn't be kind of shouting about it. And so I kind of took that experience from Galway, and I said, you guys need to be
Mm.
shouting about this. So that's the idea, is to, number one, get the different businesses collaborating together. Once they're working together and supporting each other, and then when they realize the wealth that they really genuinely do have in such a small, dense population. And we're just looking at the West Limerick. I will say here that there is the Limerick Food Group, who we do a lot of work with, and they're working on an overarching Limerick kind of product, as well as the local enterprise office would be supporting them. So there's a lot of stuff for Limerick as a whole, but because we're focusing just on West Limerick, that's why it's the West Limerick Food Series.
Absolutely incredible. And if producers want to get involved, how can they?
Yeah, so it's as quick as going onto Eventbrite and searching for West Limerick Resources and registering for the training. So the training is there's going to be 15 modules altogether, and it's over about a year and a half, maybe 2 year period, depending on COVID and all of the different restrictions. So if the first two modules are up, so there's something every Wednesday. It's the West Limerick Wednesday, and so this Wednesday morning we'll have our first module, which is kind of building the it's an introduction to the program, and there will be some learning from it. Then, because of COVID and because we can't get into the classroom yet, we've supplemented the training with some online workshops, which will be held every second Wednesday. So every Wednesday there'll be something, but the module will be 1 week, and then there'll be an online support, and it'll be all through Zoom as well. And so by going through the Eventbrite West Limerick Resources, or you can email us at westlimerickfood@gmail.com.
Caitriona Scully, it's been an absolute pleasure chatting to you and learning all about it. I have to say, I feel like my mouth is just watering here at the
I
thought of
know.
all this, and because of all the food I've just been thinking about all the different food we produce, and I think it's such a great initiative for local West Limerick food producers to get involved with, and also it's a great way to build up communication with various food brands that are around and available, and I think it's a great way to get everyone to work together.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's what we hope to see. So we'll look forward to bringing you on some of our trips soon.
Oh, I can't wait. An absolute pleasure chatting to you, Caitriona. And I said, I actually cannot wait until I can be out and about in real life and get to West Limerick outside my 5K and see people in real life again. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Great to talk to you.